We're continuing to break down this idea of I quit just watching. And today we're talking about this idea that by God's design, his kingdom is shackled when you and I say no to ministry. Matthew 25 verses 35 through 40 say this. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. And then the righteous will answer him saying, Lord, when do we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? When do we see you a stranger or welcome you in, or naked and clothe you? And when do we see you sick or in prison and visit you? And the king will answer them, truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it for me. In this story, Jesus is describing two different groups of people. And the first group of people he describes is those who served the least of them around them. Those who said yes to the ministry that Jesus was calling all of us to. Those who helped people by feeding them and clothing them, visiting those in prison, and serving those who were in need. And these individuals get to inherit the kingdom of God. And it's this impactful and powerful thing. And it's these little tasks that Jesus is describing in this story, right? Like giving somebody a drink when they're thirsty or feeding them. And as I think about my own faith journey, I think about the little things that have led me to where I am. The little things people did to serve me. Whether it was a small group leader in student ministry or a children's ministry Sunday school teacher, or even a guy named Jeff who sat and tried to teach me guitar even though I was terrible at it when I was a junior in high school just because I needed somebody to hang out with. It was all these individuals, right, who walked with me and served me that are the reason that my eternity changed, that my life changed, because someone stepped into my story. But if we say no to God's kingdom, stories of life change, stories of people's needs being met don't happen. And that's what's described in the second group of individuals. This group of individuals who say no, who don't inherit the kingdom of God, who don't meet the needs of other people. And so today we come to this moment where yesterday we talked about this idea of praying for opportunity and praying that we say yes to God's kingdom and starting to think through the way that we serve. Today our challenge is to think through this idea of why it's important to serve. The kingdom implications that it has. Because it's not just that we get to participate, it's that it has a long-lasting implication when we participate. It's not just that we get the opportunity to impact somebody's life right here and right now, it's that we can change somebody's eternity right here and right now. I think of this in the way our greeters greet on Sunday morning. I love watching them greet. If you ever get the opportunity to stand in the lobby and just watch them interact with new visitors, it is an amazing thing. They greet them at the front door. They're very and incredibly kind to them. They show them where the first time gifts are, and then they show them where communion is and where they can have a seat. Our greeters go above and beyond to make first-time guests feel welcome and help break down that barrier for them to experience what God might have for them this morning and to show them that they're not alone. And that's an incredible thing that can impact somebody's eternity. But if they didn't do that, if they just stood and watched as somebody new walked in, it might hinder that new person from experiencing what God has for them. And so we have to remember that when we say yes, God's kingdom is unleashed, but when we say no, somebody's eternity is affected. God's kingdom is shackled. And so you and I are called to say yes to the kingdom of God and serving right here and right now. And so today I want you to continue praying about this idea of what happens when we begin to serve in God's kingdom. My hope for you is that you're starting to think of how maybe you can get plugged in here at MCC to serve alongside us and to serve God's people. I hope you have a great day.